Hey, you guys. I'm out driving and wanting to enlighten you guys on my brief little vacay. So, I'm celebrating Kwanzaa. Today is the second day of Kwanzaa. Yesterday was about unity. We actually did family things together. We didn't get the chance to watch Souls together, but we did do things around the house. I played hide and go seek with the kids. I'm not gonna call them children. And yeah, it was more of a unity. I got to spend some much needed time with the people that I chose to love because they love me. Now, with today being the second day, it's about self-determination, self-awareness, self-love, and that's what I'm catering to today. So everyone is going to be accountable for self. We is cleaning the house. With that being said, I want to bring up this topic. So, like I said, yesterday we watched Souls, and it was literally like an awakening for my kids, because my kids noticed things that I didn't pay attention to. Of course, I was paying attention to the subliminal messages that they sent into the kids about souls and being positive and the demon souls taking over and everything that goes on with life. And with that, my son noticed that the girl was the cat and the guy didn't go back to his body. And he initially asked, like, why didn't he get his body back? Why couldn't the girl be the cat? And I can't tell my son it's because he's a black man, and in Disney they don't let the black characters live out to be black characters. But I did go on Facebook and see that someone else peeped that it wasn't just me. I seen that someone else acknowledged the fact that we will start off a movie as our characters. Throughout the movie, we will be something else other than our characters that brought everyone to watch the movie. Now, like I said, my son noticed it. He just didn't notice it in that form. He noticed that when they fell into the souls, that instead of the guy going back to his body, the woman voice fell into his body, and he fell into a cat's body. Now, my son also noticed that they talked about bad spirits, and that if one go astray, what'll happen? That the spirits are accounted for, that you have a purpose to live. Ooh, I know I look rough, but yeah, I've been holding off before I could get myself together for New Year's. Coming in the New Year clean and together. This is my before. Anywho, like I said, my son noticed that there were bad souls and there was an afterlife, and he noticed that not everybody wants to die. He noticed that. He did bring up negative energy while watching the movie, and I'm proud of myself because I said so much to my kids that I want them aware. And now that they are watching movies and they are seeing it for themselves, it's like they get to come to me and say, "Ma, you was right. This happened and that happened, and this is what I got out the movie." And we get to talk about positive minds and great spirits and being a good person and being wise and being aware of your surroundings. Understand when you have a great presence on people. That is things I get to talk to my 3, 5, and 13-year-old about. Why? Because I started this journey and they seen me changing. Ultimately, in the process of me changing, they wanted to be like me. Now, it's bittersweet that my son wants to be like me when he grow up, not in the form of a woman, because around my son, I am not a woman all the time. I'm doing more of man stuff so that my son can pick up the lessons and go through life and have some type of trade. So I teach him how to build. I teach him communication skills. I teach him how to be open. I teach him how to have a kind heart. I teach him how to pay attention to the people around him, how to listen. He pick up on vibes. He know what vibes are. He can describe all vibes to you. He know good vibes. He know bad vibes. He know what brings bad energy. He know what's tied to anger. Because I have a sheet on the refrigerator that says the feelings that's not allowed in the house. Watching the movie with him lets me know that I am not just preaching. I need to wash my coat. But anywho, I am not just preaching. He's actually listening. He just listened at his own pace, which is something what I did. Instead of saying that I knew, I let people keep describing it to me so I can get a better understanding of what they're trying to tell me or see how slow they was going to try to treat me. Now, with that, he observed everything. Like, he's a watcher. He's a mental. I don't call him mental like he's something wrong with him, but he's a thinker. I like to use the word mental because a lot of people don't think. They don't use their mind. They have a mind, they don't use it. On top of that, my kids hear me reciting Swahili words and they're interested into what is she doing? Is she going crazy? And why is she so anti-black? Once I discovered self-love and I went to digging and I do a lot of reading and research on a lot of things that I get interested in, and I discovered that more of the spiritual way is really just self-awareness, self-love, self-appreciation, self-dedication. It's about self. That's why they say it's up to you to control how you feel about yourself. You manifest your future. Everything falls on you for a reason because it's what you allow. Being young and didn't understand what they were saying, I thought it was about the people around me, what I get out of it, what I see around me, and all that, which plays a part in everything. But ultimately, I could have went through none of that stuff if I would have loved myself better. Now that I know that I teach that to my kids, now that I know that they're listening, I can enforce it more. I can't be scared of, did they pick this up? Did they get that? They got it. They're smart individuals. Of course they got it. Now that I know they got it, it's time to strengthen those weaknesses. I break down all the weaknesses. If I find them lacking somewhere, that is what we're going to work on the most. I'm glad that I decided to do that on my own instead of someone telling me. I'm glad that I'm trying to be different so I don't live 400 years in the same curse, same generational curse. I have my flaws. I'm not perfect. I do mess up. I'm correcting it. I'm still healing. I'm still in my era of correction. So when my kids get bigger and they go through their era of correction, they can come to me for that wisdom and that help. And they don't just be out here lost looking for something that's not there. I try to be as open as possible with my kids. And now that we have watched this movie, I understand why I wanted to be open with my children. It's easy for them to be brainwashed out of curiosity, but it's hard to get them to understand because of what they already know. That's going to go over a lot of people's heads, and I get it because I was that type of person. But once you sit down and think of what I just said, you're going to realize that if you teach your children everything there is to know, that you know, everything that you went wrong at, and you learn the correct answer to it, if you teach them those ways, of course they're not going to pick it up. They're going to go out and they're going to find out if it's true or not on their own. Once they find out that it's true, they're going to come back to you with more appreciation. Now, I said that because I'm going to say this, because this is getting to the end of my video. Our kids cannot be, as they call it, robots if they have all the knowledge they need to break down those barriers. We cannot continue to train our kids to do and think the same way we did because some of us have found that the system was to work against us. Since we know the correct way, it's time to correct those changes. We did 400 years of slavery just to continue to do the same things without being held to those standards. Back then they had to fight for the spots that we have freely now. We lack things based off of our own selves and not because it was taken from us. We have a lot of things that are against us that they don't want us to have access to, but throughout the years and everything changing, we now have access to different things. We have different ways to get access to what we want. We as a community can change the educational reaches of our children. We could change it all by focusing and paying attention. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I celebrate Kwanzaa. My kids is okay with Christmas, but they're loving Kwanzaa. Why? Because the same values that I teach them as people, I get to show them that Christmas is just one day. You get all these gifts on this one day. Families fall apart on that one day. But if you celebrate Kwanzaa, the black man's holiday, no matter who made it up, it's the black man's holiday. And it has core principles, values, and understanding. If we celebrate those days, you can on one day give all gifts. But essentially the way I'm doing it, my kids have 7 days of gifts. Each day I give them a gift with value. I give them one that's going to bring them together. Yesterday I gave them Legos. I gave like 1,500 pieces. That's something they all can sit down and do together. They could put their minds together. They could build different things. It's not just a set. We don't have a lot of building going on. We don't have a lot of art going on within our community. I want them to get into different languages, learn different languages. We don't have many bilingual people in our community. I want them to learn music, different types of music, how to play the instruments, because 20, 30 years down the line, when that stuff is unseen, unheard, it's going to be those few that make that spot because you took that time to get those lessons. The things that they don't teach us anymore, the cursive writing and everything. Take this time to make your generation that you put out into this generation a better generation to live with. I know it starts with just like, oh, that's just a few kids out of a million. But if you start small and grow within the community, things will definitely be better. Poverty would look different for us. We wouldn't keep reliving the same history if we change our history while we have that chance. With that being said, hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful day. Happy Kwanzaa. And enjoy your day. Talk to you guys later.